And so, here we are, the Gnat Special from Wasp Synthesizers Limited of Oxford, England. Note the Gnat, note the sensitivity for the keyboard, note the tune, note also the very tatty Carlsberg Sound Centers label, where this was no doubt purchased in its day. Notice the wood, the delicious wood, which made this low-budget synthesizer a little bit more upmarket, although not that much more upmarket, because it's still the same single circuit board, which has potentiometers soldered directly to it and held in place by this metal plate here and the knobs. So it does this. Yes, it does. Quite often. Anyway, on with the appraisal of this delightful, rare beauty. Keyboard control is brought to you by the word glide, followed by the oscillator. Let's look at the oscillator and come back to that little chap. Okay, so 5 octaves of control, ranging from 32 foot to 2 foot. Okay, and here are your waveforms, starting with off. No sound whatsoever. Well, hello, Mr. Sawtooth, and how do you do? You obviously want to go first. Are the neighbour's dogs baying yet? Square. Oh, isn't it lovely down there? Very nice square wave indeed. And enhance. Low budget. Economical decision was made to include a new waveform. The enhanced waveform, not available on the Wasp, is actually a pulse width modulated square. Let's have a listen on its own, shall we? Delicious. And finally, the noise, for which my Gnat Special is non-functionado at the moment. It sounds like this. I'm working on it. Update to come. Right, back to that. Now let's have a listen to how much Mr. Glide. Not a great deal. 50%. Right, how about, let's stop annoying the neighbour's dogs, and slubber-de-gullions. Okay, moving straight away onto the control oscillator. Now this is the low frequency oscillator, which has routing to the pitch, a frequency range, and waveforms. Sine wave. Ooh. Let's speed that up a little bit. Ramp up, ramp down. Oh, very dystopian. Let's increase the return to your homes. Return to your homes. And square. Yes, that old European ambulance. Very musical, isn't it? Now, before I go into random, I want to show you something with this little chap, because this little chap actually works in correlation with that to quite a nice effect. You see? And there we go, random. The more wobbly. And that's the LFO. Right, moving swiftly on to the filter, which, by its dotted line separating it from the envelope generator, tells us there is something in common here. And look, filter contour. Okay, frequency, range, low frequency, low pass filter, 12 decibels per octave with a resonance. So that sounds very much... Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm going to turn you off. There we go. So, frequency. Let's turn off the resonance completely and... Okay. It's a bit scratchy there, isn't it? I think it needs a bit of a clean. Oh, there it is. Let's poke this little bad boy up. Certainly not enough to self-oscillate, but certainly enough to fiddle with. So this can be routed to the control oscillator here, which VCO, this has a digitally controlled oscillator. That's a bit cheeky. I don't really know why that says VCO. Unless this is voltage control oscillator. Who knows? I'll have to look into that. Oops. You fool, you fool. Let's try again. Right. Oh, Mr. Oizo. Yeah, definitely has something of the TV to it. Nice. Okay. Ramp up. Nice. Ramp down. Square. And random. So, the other side of the knob. So remember, cost saving. We've had savings costing savings reduced by having an enhanced pulse width modulated square. We've had one knob to route the filter. And now we have, well, 2 in 1. It's a filter contour. It's attack and release in one knob. So the further left you have it, the slower the attack. The further right you have it, the shorter the attack. The shorter the attack, the longer the release. And conversely, the longer the attack, the shorter the release. So that sounds like this. There it is. Somehow, it seems to stop about 3 o'clock. Charlie says. Might be lower than that, is it? 90s rave, gotta love it. Okay, and finally. And thankfully, the attack and decay release works as expected. You hold your finger on it, the decay sort of sustains in the middle, and then you take your finger off it and it releases. So let's put that back in its place. So we get something very childlike about this. Delightful. Oh, cheeky. For those of you familiar with the Queen Flash soundtrack, Ming the Merciless. What plaything can you offer me today? The Gnat Special, by the Wasp Synthesizer Limited, of course, in Oxford, England. I think cool. So this is what EDP set out to make, the Gnat. And the Gnat Special was the final version that the company made. I used to own a Wasp back in the 90s. And yeah, it was quite plasticky. It did feel quite fragile, but obviously it had stood the test of time. So I was very happy to find this when this came up. Just want to point out the link socket there. It's a proprietary system that they use to control. It's not a MIDI socket, although I have found and installed a MIDI board from ELBY-Designs in Australia, which makes it a lot more useful. A lot of people like ELBY are still paying homage to the Wasp and I suppose Gnat. Dopefer make a filter module, which is great for all you modular people out there. And ELBY produce a suitcase version of the Wasp, not the Gnat, which is fabulous. And Jasper, who are a British company, make a kit which is more traditional in its approach to the Wasp. I've just bought one of those. Very excited to be putting that together, and I will include that in the channel. Hope you've enjoyed. Anyway, like, subscribe, join in, share, enjoy, and until the next one, keep twiddling those knobs.